Welcome to Polylive.
We are live from the Performing Arts Center here on Cal Poly's campus.
And we will be inviting a number of organizations here around campus to get you better acclimated with the school.
And we'll also be showcasing our sassy and stunning personalities. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Noni. And the best part about this program is that it's live. So you get to interact with us. You guys get to interact with the moderators that will be on there. And you can also participate in polls and win prizes.
It's going to be a really fun time. If we trip over our words, you'll know that it's okay because we're going to have a lot of fun. Before we get into the heart of the show, maybe we should tell you a little bit about ourselves. Like I said, my name's Hannah. I'm a third-year journalism major, and I hail from Santa Rosa, California.
My name is Noni, and I'm a fourth-year biomedical engineering student, and I'm from Roseville, California.
So a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be hanging out with club sports. We're going to be hanging out with some people from orientation programs, and we're also going to spend some time with the Vice President of Student Affairs, Keith Humphrey.
Oh, he's a big deal.
Yeah, he's basically famous. It's going to be fun.
Our moderators today will be Jason, Simo, and Scott. So if they have any questions or you have any questions, they'll put it up for us and we can interact with you.
And please, please, please ask those questions. There are no such things as stupid questions. Please don't hesitate to, type into that little chat box and interact with us. It'll be fun. I'll give you a shout out. Okay, so today's focus is Cal Poly pride and Mustang spirit. And something that we really, really pride ourselves on is the Mustang Way. The Mustang Way is a really great way it's kind of our words to live by, if you will. And those three are pride, responsibility, and character. And a lot of us choose to embody the Mustang Way by, silly little things like helping people pick up their books when they trip in the UU, or, maybe it's walking a friend home late at night or anything like that. But we're going to come at you every week with a Mustang Way of the week. And this week's comes from Noni.
Okay, first I need to give a shout out to the guy who found my notebook today in the University Union and contacted me over Facebook to return it to me.
What a sweetheart.
Amazing. But I wanted to talk about Josh Barkheimer. He is the Starbucks Lord. He always writes on people's cups and wants to give little messages to make their day. And I heard that he even buys flowers every Friday.
Every Friday, yeah.
He
walks around campus.
Amazing. That's exactly what we love to see at Cal Poly.
So if you like to make people's day, if you want to go out of your way to make someone smile, that's definitely something that we like to see here at Cal Poly. Julian, shout out, just made me smile. He asks, I'm a journalism major, can we be best friends?
Wait, yes?
The answer is obviously yes. Let's hang out in Building 26 and, write some stories together, break some news. It'll be a good time. But right now, why don't we invite out our representatives from Club Sports, Amanda and Pat.
Woo!
Woo! Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Good. So why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what sport you play, all that jazz.
Okay, I'm Amanda. I'm a second-year poli-sci major, and I play club lacrosse.
I'm Patrick. I'm a fourth-year microbiology major, and I play rugby.
Excellent. Amanda, I hear your sister is tuned in right now.
Yes.
Samantha, right? Hey, Samantha.
Hi, Samantha.
I'm excited for you to come to Cal Poly. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your sports and your successes for this year?
Okay, for women's lacrosse, we're lucky enough to have two teams. We have an A team and a B team, and so the B team gets to play competitively and the A team. So B team this year, we got second place in our region, and then A team actually got fourth place in the nation. So they got to go to Boulder, Colorado, and play teams from all over the United States.
Thanks, that's really cool. How long have you been playing lacrosse?
I have been playing lacrosse since I was in third grade, so a very, very, very long time. So I had to keep playing when I came to Cal Poly.
Excellent. And what about you, Pat?
Well, the rugby team, we had 4 teams this year. We actually were the third biggest club in the nation.
Wow.
And we did very well this year. We made it to the semifinals of the Division 1A championships and ended the year ranked 4th. So it was a pretty good year.
Excellent.
And I've been playing rugby. This is my 4th year. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. So what's the difference between a club sport and like an NCAA sport?
Well, club sport, for the practice demands are a little bit less, and but it's still competitive. We still go to other schools. It's just if you need to put more time into school, and the demands aren't as high, but it's still very high competitive and very high quality athletes.
Excellent. Samantha asks, what are time commitments for club sports? How many hours a week do you think you put into your sport?
We have practice 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then games basically every weekend and probably during winter quarter and like half of spring quarter. So it's like a pretty big time commitment, but like just helps structure your whole day.
Yeah, we practice between 3 and 4 times a week for 2 hours, and then basically all day Saturdays game.
Okay, cool. And then Alexandra in the audience asks, when do new students sign up for teams or sign up to try out for club sports? How does that process work? Is there a sign up? Is there just a tryout? Do you show up? Want to walk us through that?
Okay. The best way to get involved with club sports is to contact one of them. Cal Poly has a club sports page, and they have the representatives' email addresses on there. And so some club sports actually have tryouts before school starts. So you should try to get in contact with them earlier. And if it's a sport that maybe is in the winter or fall, like we were at the club showcase during WOW, and you can sign up on our email list, and we have tryouts first week of winter quarter.
Yeah, well, for the rugby team, we accept students whenever throughout the whole year, and there's no tryouts. It's just you're placed on a team based on your ability, but we welcome everybody who wants to give it a shot.
Excellent. Stephen in the audience wants to know if the lacrosse team makes cuts. Do you know?
No, the lacrosse team doesn't make cuts. There's like 2 teams, so like the A team is like they're better than the B team, so you can be placed on the A team or the B team. But we didn't make cuts this year or last year.
Excellent. Okay, so what other ways, in addition to club sports, can students stay involved with athletics on campus?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
How else can students be involved in sports?
Well, there's intramural sports, and you can also attend you can either attend club sports games or attend varsity games, and there's a lot of activities in the rec center if you want to get involved there.
Excellent.
In my dorm, and I think a bunch of other dorms, they actually have like intramural teams.
Yeah,
so that, you can get to know people in your dorm better. And so like Trinity last year had a soccer team.
Yeah, I had a soccer team
yeah.
when I lived in Trinity. We had a dodgeball team too. That was super fun.
I don't know if we had a dodgeball team, but
We had intramural dodgeball. It was a good time. So Samantha and Demon Major, which is a fun little username there. They're wondering if there are martial arts clubs on campus. Do you know?
I think that there is.
I'm not sure.
I know that there's a class in the rec
there's definitely a
center
class.
Yeah.
that you can take, but I don't know exactly. But you could also look on the ASI website. And the ASI they have the clubs page on the ASI website, and they also have a list of all the classes that you can take in the rec center on that website too. And do you know how long the seasons are for club sports? I know they vary sport to sport, but what do your seasons look like?
Well, we basically go from fall until the middle of the spring quarter, and fall is rugby sevens, which is kind of a different game, and then winter spring is our main 15 season. If you want to find out what those are, come out to rugby and you can find out.
What I've kind of noticed is from my friends who play other club sports, it's like you have 1.5 quarters that's like more intense, and then like for the rest of the time that you're at Cal Poly during the year, you have like sometimes during the week practice, and so I think it's probably like 1.5 quarters for a lot of people.
Okay. So we're talking a lot about Mustang Spirit today. This is kind of our overarching theme of our show. What does it mean to be a spirited Mustang in your eyes?
Well, I think it means representing your school and being really proud of your school, and I really like the opportunity playing club sports. We get to go to other schools and represent ourselves, and we get to travel, and you wear the shirt with your school and your club on it in the airport, and everyone's like, oh, who are those guys? And then you just represent the school well, and I think that's how you have good spirit.
Yeah, to me, like the Mustang Spirit kind of means like everybody working together to be like the best that they can be, kind of. I know it's like really cheesy, but,
No,
like,
but it's super
on
true.
the lacrosse
Yeah.
field, like in the classroom, like everyone's like always willing to like help each other to go above and beyond. So
Excellent. Well, I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for coming on Polylive and hanging out with us for a little bit. And have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
Now we are going to go over to Daniel's video, and he's going to talk about the top 5 favorite sports programs.
Hit it, Dan.
Thanks, Noni and Anna. Hello, everybody. My name is Dan, and welcome to Dan's Corner. It's not a corner, it's a wall. Dan's Corner is a chance for our hosts to stretch their legs a little bit. And all you lucky viewers out there get to stare at this. This week in Dan's Corner, we're going to go a little more in depth into Cal Poly's athletics. Here are my top 5 favorites. Number 5, we have intramural sports, also known as IMs. Intramural sports is a great way for current students to stay active during the school year. We have such sports as soccer, basketball, volleyball, racquetball, and futsal. I don't know what that is. Number 4, we have the women's basketball team making it to the NCAA tournament. Have you heard of March Madness? That's what it is. Go Mustangs! I tried to go to the NCAA tournament, but they wouldn't let me on the bus. And number 3, we have a long-standing football rivalry between us and the UC Davis Aggies. The winner of this big football game gets the Golden Horseshoe Trophy. What was that? No. Yeah, we have that trophy right now. And number 2, we have the men's soccer team finishing 3rd overall in the Big West Championship and 2nd in the North. Fun fact about our soccer team, our biggest rival is UC Santa Barbara. Every year, every Mustang filled the stands for that game, and I'll see you there. And finally, drum roll please. Not in the budget. And number 1, we have the men's baseball team, currently ranked 27th in the nation. They had some tough matchups so far, and recently they even beat CSU Fullerton, who is ranked 9th in the nation. 9th? Really? That's pretty good. Well, that's about all I have for today. I'll see you next time on Dan's Corner.
And we're back. Thanks, Dan. You will all be hearing from Dan a little bit every episode. He will have a different theme for his corner every week and talk about interesting and exciting things going on campus.
And we also have a third host that you guys have not met yet. His name is Devin O'Brien, and he will be either trying to replace us in
Not
our
like that's
seats,
possible.
or he will be a field correspondent, so he will go out into the community and ask questions.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. Right now we want to introduce orientation. We actually have the largest volunteer orientation program in the United States.
We're kind of
Very
a big
proud.
deal.
Big deal.
Go
so
us.
we are going to invite Drew and Jane from orientation programs. So do you guys mind describing your role in orientation programs?
Yeah, so my name's Drew. I'm a 5th-year civil engineering major from Huntington Beach, and I am on the orientation program's executive board this year, and I'm in charge of campus life, which entails all of campus tours, campus knowledge, campus resources, academics, and a lot of the presentations you see during SOAR as well.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kaivi-Lenting. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Life and Leadership and one of the orientation coordinators. I first want to say that I'm a 2-time Mustang, so I graduated from Cal Poly twice. Very proud of that. And my role is to work with the student leaders like Drew and the other 7 coordinators that we have that are students, along with our graduate team and our other coordinators, to really shape the different aspects of orientation programs. There's many parts to it.
Wow. That's amazing. We brought out the head honchos here, so if you guys have questions,
This
these are
is the
people
time to ask.
So can you describe the orientation specifically at Cal Poly? What does it entail?
So there are 4 steps to orientation at Cal Poly. One of them is polylive, so if you're tuning in, you're doing the right thing. We've already had open house, and hopefully you attended open house. We also have SOAR coming up in the summer, which we'll get to in a bit. But that's a 1.5-day long session. There's about 10 sessions during the summer, and then of course we have Week of Welcome in the fall, which is right before school starts.
I think something I would add to that is that although those are our programming sessions, we have a really huge leadership component, which you mentioned already. We have over 600 volunteer orientation leaders that work with us, and so that's a year-round training process as well. And then we work with the many entities on campus to do some year-round academic orientation throughout the time here at campus.
That's amazing. You guys definitely want to check out the orientation here. Sign up. So you mentioned that SOAR begins in the summer. What do students expect from this?
So like I said before, SOAR is a day-and-a-half-long program. They're going to be placed in a group with a student leader that's been trained for the past quarter. They'll be taken to presentations from academic advisors that's going to teach them kind of the ins and outs of academics at Cal Poly. They're going to go to a time management presentation. They are going to go to an awareness presentation. That's kind of intro awareness a little bit. It's going to be proven more in WOW, but it's kind of the introduction to the awareness there. They're also going to be going to a downtown portion and getting a tour of downtown, and they're going to be joined by their parent there as well. And they're going to be going on a campus tour and getting like a really, really in-depth view of the campus with some of the resources coming out and actually introducing their resource to the students.
Drew mentioned that there are supporters that are also part of orientation during the SOAR time. We really have a comprehensive orientation for the parents and supporters of new students, and so they have their own day and a half of workshops and sessions separate from the students so that they can ask the questions that they want to ask away from their student.
So I know that they're able to stay on campus for the first time during SOAR, and Julian from the audience wants to know, how is Poly Canyon Village?
Poly Canyon Village is awesome. I lived there as a second year. I live with 5 other roommates. You can live between 4 and 6 roommates as a second year there, and also they have freshmen coming in and living there. But it's a great experience. There's a pool. There's a Jamba Juice there. There's lots of food.
There's beach volleyball.
There's beach volleyball. Lots
It's
of
like
hiking
living in
around
a
there.
resort.
It's great, and you will have the opportunity to stay there during SOAR if you do choose to sign up for that.
And also parents can stay with their student, or students can stay with other students on campus. So it's a great opportunity to see one of our housing facilities that's amazing, like you said, like a resort. So I would take advantage of it. It's a great deal.
Definitely. Is SOAR mandatory, or can they choose to come?
SOAR is not mandatory, but it's highly, highly encouraged. It's kind of the precursor to WOW, and it kind of gets you ready to go to WOW. It really hits on a lot of the academics that are needed at Cal Poly, and so I would say definitely I would go to SOAR.
And Allie from the audience wants to know, is there a special week of welcome for transfer students?
I would love to answer that. First of all, I'm going to back up to SOAR because there is actually a SOAR day specific to transfer students. And it's a day that's spent widely with their academic college and their advisors, helping them plan out their classes, registering for their classes, so on and so forth. And then during the week of welcome, we have trained over 25 orientation leaders specifically for transfer students to be in transfer-only orientation groups. And we really have a very transfer student focus that will take place during the week.
Perfect. Brian from the audience wants to know, if he can't specifically attend SOAR, he's a student, can his parents still attend? Should they still attend?
They should. We would love to have his parents come to orientation and participate. That is the one orientation specifically for parents, so we encourage that. So yes, Brian, send your parents for sure. And I'm sorry you can't attend, but if it changes, we have several dates to choose from, so you may be able to fit one of those dates into your time.
David wants to verify, can transfer students sign up during SOAR, or when do they sign up?
For classes.
For classes. Okay, so let me clarify something. SOAR, for transfer students, you will sign up for your classes at that day. It's the day before open enrollment for the rest of campus. And so, yes, the difference for transfer students to freshmen, the freshman students will have a block schedule that will be given to them in August. So they will receive that after they've attended their SOAR sessions. There might be one SOAR session that follows the receipt of their block schedule.
Okay. So we've mentioned a lot about SOAR, but WOW is definitely just as integral as SOAR is. Can you describe a little bit about what it is and why people should do both? Because I know some people are confused.
Yeah, sure. So WOW is September 17th to the 22nd. They'll be placed in a group similar to SOAR, but with 2 leaders that have been trained again since the beginning of spring quarter. So during WOW, they're going to go to some events that are optional and non-optional. So some of the non-optional ones are awareness topics that deal with things such as mental health, drug and alcohol prevention, and just a lot of issues like that. And they also go to a lot of academic presentations that are going to better prepare them for going to school here at Cal Poly. Other than that, we offer a lot of events and entertainment events that their leaders are going to be the ones that are going to be registering for those. So those are kind of a surprise when they get to Cal Poly. And whenever they have time off during the week, they will be doing whatever their leader has planned for them. So maybe that's kayaking, maybe it's going to the beach or going surfing, hiking, a lot of the things that we have in SLO, the leaders have access to.
think the parents are probably hearing that it sounds like WOW is a lot of fun, but I think WOW is necessary. I'm a little partial. I'm not to WOW, but I think it's necessary because it is the time of moving into their residence hall, so they're going to be acclimated to their living community. There's academic components, so they will meet with their dean and department heads and advisors, and they will meet current students who will be guiding them around and leading them through process. So it's a really great introduction to what the rest of the school year and the rest of the 4 years could be like.
It's an amazing program.
It's so much fun.
But I'm sure it's not free for all of this great kayaking and academic services. So do you know how much it is for SOAR and WOW? Can you briefly go over that?
Yeah, so if you sign up before June 17th, SOAR is $100 for a student and $100 for the first supporter. An additional meal ticket for a second supporter is an additional $20. WOW costs $175, so you'll pay $150 up front and then have $25 ready for the week. And that's just for the various events that your group will be going through, such as kayaking or some of the events and entertainment that we mentioned earlier. So those are the two. So it's $175 total for WOW.
Speaking of those fun events like kayaking and events and entertainment, there should be a poll online right now, and we want to know what you are most excited about for the week of welcome. So go ahead and check off those boxes, and we'll get those results soon.
So Cassidy from the audience wants to know, if you are a transfer student but you can't attend SOAR, when can you sign up for your classes?
Okay, so the advisors from each of the colleges have prepared what's called a polylearn course that new students, actually all new students, will be taking before coming to Cal Poly. It's for the freshmen, it's going to be prior to receiving their block schedule, and for the transfer students, it's to prepare them for registration for classes. Then they are also encouraged to contact their advising center and work with their advisor over the phone if they have any need to do that. And then we'll get them help on the registration piece.
Okay, perfect. And when can students start signing up for both of these orientation programs?
Today. Sign up now.
Right now.
Right now.
Available.
You heard it.
When this episode is over, sign up for SOAR and WOW.
What should have gone out about 3 weeks ago was an email invitation that came from admissions. It went to your Cal Poly email address, so dig it out of the trash if that's where it went. No, it might have gone to, but it went to your Cal Poly email. Sign up from that email address. That's the only place that you really can sign up from. And then in about a week, they should be receiving an awesome welcome package from our department and a letter from the president that reminds them and their parents to sign up as well. So those are two opportunities to be reminded.
That's perfect. And if you have any further questions, you can contact orientation.calpoly.edu, and we will be so excited to answer all of your questions.
Absolutely. We love answering questions.
So we wanted to wrap it up. So the Mustang Spirit is all about what we are this show. So can you say how the Mustang Spirit applies to orientation?
I would just say, especially our leaders have such good attitudes during the week, and it's really contagious. And it gets caught on to all the new students, and we're gonna have some specific events that are just gonna blow you away. They're so incredible, and there's so much spirit. I don't want to give any away right now, but I'm really excited and looking forward to some of those events.
The Mustang Spirit goes hand in hand with our Mustang Way. I think that orientation is really a first glimpse at how Mustang Way is in action with the pride, responsibility, and character. And I think that you see that in our campus, you see that in our students, you see that in our faculty and staff. And so they're definitely going to experience that when they come to all of our orientation programs.
That's perfect. Well, we wanted to thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
So we have some results from the poll. It seems like kayaking won, which is one of my
Which is
favorite
my
things to
favorite
do.
thing to do with my WOW. Is super
And second
fun.
is paintballing. So
Which is something I'm afraid to do because I feel like I would end up with welts and bruises all over my body because I'm really accident prone. I've never flipped a kayak though.
I've never done that, but I've never tried paintballing. So I feel like I should.
Maybe
take
I
some
should,
notes.
leave my comfort zone a little bit. That's what orientation's all about, right?
It
Trying
is.
new things. Speaking of orientation, so last night, Noni and I had the privilege of watching all of our leaders in training graduate to orientation leaders. Like the proud mamas that we are, we had the privilege of facilitating our orientation training this year, and it was the greatest thing ever to see all of our orientation leaders walk away with their clipboards for the year and everything. So they're ready for you, and they're super excited.
They went through
Super
10 weeks of
excited.
extensive training, so they're not.
And they had to put up with us for 10 weeks, so
But
They've,
who wouldn't want to put up with us?
Very true. You're probably wishing you were actually hanging out with us right now. So
I know another person who wants to hang out with us. The Vice President
of Student Affairs. He's like told you, he's kind of a big deal. I hear his name is Keith Humphrey. He is new to Cal Poly's campus as well, but he's adjusting just fine. He's kind of like a wowie, but not really. But we'd like to invite him up to this nice, snazzy, silver, comfy chair right now.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Hannah. Hi, Melanie. How are you guys doing?
We're great.
And first, we wanted to preface that if you have any questions, definitely ask him during the segment. He's the man of the hour, so go for it.
Please, ask all the questions.
So, can you briefly describe your role on campus?
Sure. First, I just want to say congratulations on your admission to all of the new students. We are really looking forward to having you on campus this fall. As Vice President of Student Affairs, I think I have one of the most fun jobs on campus after being a SOAR or WOW leader. I get to work with all the folks who make the out-of-class experience absolutely awesome for Cal Poly students. That's everything from SOAR and WOW, housing, all the way on through to career services and graduation.
Excellent. So what exactly is Student Affairs? Like, what's your overarching organization? What's the goal of Student Affairs?
Well, the goal of Student Affairs is to make sure that students graduate and that they have a great time along the way, that they learn more about who they are, they learn about their leadership development potential, they learn new ways of interacting with other people, and that they really just have a wonderful time and really embrace and engage deeply with the Cal Poly experience.
Excellent.
So we briefly mentioned that you are new as well. Can you describe your experience so far?
I have had an incredible time since I got to Cal Poly. I've been here about 100 days now, and everyone on campus has been so welcoming. It truly is one of the happiest places on the planet here in San Luis Obispo. So I would say students have been incredibly friendly to me. I enjoyed meeting all of the incoming students at open house and their families. I just think you can't go wrong by meeting and talking with a Mustang.
Oh, that's perfect. So you've never been through WOW.
I've never been through WOW. I've heard about WOW.
Oh.
I have heard WOW. We know about WOW all around the world, and so I am really excited. I'll be a freshman this fall myself.
So you're going to
So
go
are you
with
going to be my wowie or Noni's wowie? Is the real
No,
question.
I'm gonna take a poll, see who's.
I mean,
what.
I'm going kayaking, which is the number one.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. So,
I'm not
well,
sure-
we
I'm
can
not
have
sure.
interviews later. You can
We'll find
like
out.
throw a dart. Figure it out. It'll be fine. Okay, so we talk a lot about the Mustang Way and Cal Poly Pride, and that has a lot to do with Cal Poly's culture. How would you describe Cal Poly's culture?
I think Cal Poly's culture, one of the things that makes Cal Poly so unique is our learn by doing philosophy in the classes, and how that learn by doing philosophy permeates the entire campus. It really deeply involves the students in everything that we do. Cal Poly students are among the most engaged students that I've seen any place in the country. And so they care about campus, they have great ideas. We involve them in making decisions about everything because they are so smart, they care so deeply, and they're proud of making Cal Poly a better place.
Excellent. So, how does Cal Poly compare? I know you kind of touched on this, but how do we compare to the other universities that you've worked at?
Well, I've worked at great universities, which will
But none.
go nameless
None.
today, although
Okay, here we
I
go.
hear there's someone online today from my former state. So it's very hot where you are. It's much cooler here in San Luis Obispo. I think one of the things that really separates Cal Poly apart from other universities is how much the students really want to make an impact on the campus in their 4 years here, and all of the different opportunities that we have at Cal Poly to make sure that students have an opportunity to leave a legacy while they're here.
Perfect. So Samantha from the audience heard about an initiative where the CSUS organizations will have people graduate faster by online labs. Will Cal Poly be doing this?
Yeah, a couple CSU campuses are beginning to get into what are called MOOCs, massive online something else with an O, courses, can't remember, massive open online courses. And they're great opportunities for students to pick up credit. Our academic senate, the folks who make curricular decisions, are still talking about how they might fit into our curriculum. So it's probably a little too early, Samantha, to say how it's going to turn out here.
Peggy Reed says, hi, Keith.
Hi, Peggy.
Kind of
Says, what's up? You know,
but I didn't get a shout out.
how's it going?
It's
Hi,
going
Peggy.
great. It's going great.
Is there anything that you think that the students who are watching, or now students and supporters who are watching, should know about Cal Poly or about what's going on campus right now?
I think the things that students and their families should know is that they should really make sure they take advantage of every opportunity to get to know this place. Cal Poly is academically really intense, and so we really have designed SOAR to make sure that students are ready. WOW, to make sure students meet other folks and get connected with the community. So really pay close attention to SOAR, WOW, get involved in them. Make sure you're living on campus, get involved in your residence hall your first year, and just do everything that you possibly can do here at Cal Poly.
Great. What's been your favorite Cal Poly experience so far?
Wow. My favorite Cal Poly experience so far,
I know,
there's
it's
a
hard
lot.
to pinpoint.
There's a lot.
It's
I
really
know,
difficult.
I'm going to actually say going out to baseball games. We had an
So fun.
We had an awesome baseball team this
We
year
did.
that made it into the NCAA playoffs.
Were you there when we beat Fullerton?
I was there when we beat.
Okay, I'm jealous.
It was amazing game.
It was really
and so just the spirit and how people from San Luis Obispo really support Cal Poly alongside the students, I think was tons of fun. The rodeo was at open house was
Hilarious.
Good one.
Was another highlight. The Poly Royal Parade this year was awesome. I've only been on campus for 3 months. I haven't had a chance to experience all the awesome things that happen all year. So I'm looking forward to fall.
Good.
So we've been focusing a lot on students, but how can parents get involved with Cal Poly?
Sure. Well, I think parents for sure should come to SOAR. We spend a lot of great time with parents and family members at SOAR so that they can learn all about Cal Poly, how to support their students, and then make sure that parents get connected with the parent and family program that we run out of Student Affairs. We have a couple staff who really are there to be the point person, first or last contact for parents to help them navigate the Cal Poly experience, find out ways to support their students when they're having great days, when they're not having great days, and just to help parents understand how to, what the expectations are, how to know how to handle challenges that come up for their Mustangs.
Excellent. Do you have any advice? I know a lot of the parents and supporters out there are sending their first students off to college. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Yeah, tons. I would say come to SOAR, come with them to WOW, check your students into the residence hall, help them get unpacked, take them out to dinner, take their roommate out to dinner. And
Yes. Bring the roommate.
And then
It's a good way to make friends.
Home. Go home.
Yes.
Preach.
They are going to be okay. We have quite a network of support here to care for students. And so we really are excited to work with them. Go home, get settled, do something better with their room.
I wish that you had been there to tell my parents that.
Get ready
Hi,
to
Mom.
come back for family weekend. We want to see parents back at family weekend so they can see how students have changed. But really, we've admitted them. They're smart and they're ready for this experience.
Definitely don't go home and watch Toy Story 3.
Don't.
Don't
No,
do that.
that is a terrible idea.
You'll be driving right back. Okay, I have a question for you. Because I know a lot of students don't really know what to bring to Cal Poly. I had like 7 different bags of just stuff I didn't
Oh,
need.
and
but
Bed Bath & Beyond on that day of move-in is such a disaster. It is so overwhelming.
So if you had one thing that you could not forget to bring to campus, what would it be?
Wow, that's
On the spot.
On the spot.
On the spot.
On the spot. You know, I lived my first week at Cal Poly. I lived in Poly Canyon Village, so I got to live in on campus and check it out. I would bring lots of green and lots of gold clothing, because on Thursdays that's what we wear on campus, and we expect everybody to do that. I would also bring a bike.
Yes,
one of the
absolutely.
one of the coolest things about Cal Poly is that we're one of the biggest campuses in the country, and so can take you a while to walk places, but that's a good thing because it's so beautiful and it's always nice outside. But you can also get off campus really easily on your bike and get around town.
Campus is built on a hill, though, so don't break. Those beach cruisers are super cute, but
you build good leg muscles, right?
Yeah, you have great calves.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today and hanging out with us. We've had a lot of fun, and we look forward to you being our wowie.
Thanks. We'll see you all at Soarin' Wow.
All right, thank you. All right, so those are all our guests for today. So sad. Our first episode's almost over. We survived. We did it. Go on. So just to summarize what we've talked about today, we met with club sports. We talked about Cal Poly's spirit and hanging out with lacrosse and rugby and how to get involved with club sports. We talked about orientation programs.
Wow.
Before we wrap up, we forgot the most important part of Cal Poly is learn by doing. So we're going to take you to a video about learn by doing, and then we'll let you go. We'll get out of your hair. All right, so let's see that learn by doing video.
2, 3, 4.
I try to picture the girl through a looking glass and see her as a carving that see her eyes and stare back at them. See that.
I think trying new things is definitely a big thing. I've always been really scared of bees and never interacted with them. So going out there and having this experience has really opened me up to not being so afraid of them.
We had to plan our meetings, and we just were given the project at the beginning of the quarter, and we had to have it done by the end. So planning and making sure we can meet our deadlines and working with each other, and we're going to have to do that in the workplace, and you have to do that with a lot of classes because learn by doing is a lot of your own direction.
You can't really get that kind of information from just sitting in a class. There's so much more that you can grasp, especially if you're a kinesthetic learner and you learn by doing.
Skills and the actual concepts that we're learning. I mean, we're not necessarily going to do this exact same lab, exact same format in the real world, but we'll take these concepts and these same equations and we'll use them to figure out real problems.
It's hard to learn by yourself, and you can't make all the mistakes by yourself. So when you watch someone else do something wrong, they can teach you, and you don't have to make that same mistake for yourself.
Having a professor come in and say, oh yeah, we talked to these firms and they said 4.0 is not the most important thing. It's if you can think critically and if you can actually do the work that we're asking you to do. So to me, that's the value of a life skill is learn by doing.
We're back.
We're back. You probably missed us already.
Okay, there. Now we're back. We know you missed us.
So we summarized what we already did, but what we didn't tell you about is the photo contest.
It's a big deal.
The hugest deal. I'm sad I don't get to participate.
Because I would win.
I would win. I would rig it, obviously.
I mean,
we want you to send in your cool pictures in your green and gold. You heard Keith Humphrey. He told you to go out and get some, so I'm pretty sure in that 2-minute video, you went out and bought some green and gold swag.
If you haven't yet, I mean, the university store is a pretty sweet resource that you should probably check out online and order a Cal Poly sweatshirt or t-shirt or headband or bumper sticker or all of the above. But our photo contest, we want you to Instagram your photos, tweet your photos, upload them to our Facebook page. On your Instagram and on your Instagrams and tweets, you should hashtag polylive.
And not on Facebook.
Don't use hashtags on Facebook. This is major social media faux pas. But we want to see you doing cool stuff in your green and gold. So whether you're busting cool dance moves or maybe you're hanging out with some celebrities, I don't know what you're doing. It's,
no big deal.
Doing something
we
cool.
will be highlighting you on our show, and you will also win prizes. So look out for that.
Yeah, because everybody likes to win. We would like to give a shout out once again to our friends Dan and Devin. You will be seeing them more on the show throughout the summer. You'll get to hang out with them some more, get some live action fun stuff with Dan and Devin later on. And we'd also like to thank our moderators, Jason, Simo, and Scott, for helping to answer all your questions.
And we want to thank you guys for asking us questions.
Seriously.
More of those.
Yeah. Keep coming back, keep asking those questions, because our favorite thing to do is answer questions. If you didn't ask us questions, we would sit here and like stare at each other and not know what to talk about. So
not only can you do it live, but you can ask us questions on Facebook. You can go to or email us at orientation.calpoly.edu and ask us questions there.
Yeah, so keep those questions coming. Our next episode airs on June 19th, same time, and we will be showcasing the university store where you can buy those cool Cal Poly sweatshirts and t-shirts and whatnot. You can also get your textbooks there. And we'll also be talking to campus dining, which is where you can get your grub on. I had the best breakfast burrito from campus dining the other day.
Avenue?
I
was all
so, like, seriously, I am the connoisseur of breakfast burritos. This might have cracked, like, the top 2.
Not bad. And I work at the bakery, so
right.
all of the pastries on campus.
This girl doesn't like cookies and she works at the bakery. That's something I will never understand.
Okay, I love cookies. I just chose to give them up for a year. Personal reasons, I was eating too much, but I'm back now with a vengeance. So if you want to make me some, whatever.
You could buy our love. Bring us cookies.
We'll love you anyway. Don't tell anyone that. Yeah. They didn't watch. They don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna wrap up the show, but we're gonna bring Drew back on for a game of charades while all of you finish answering polls.